Hey, guys, welcome back. Jeandra, we are back. We're doing Best Women's Boxing Show at home. I am Cynthia Conte.
And I'm Jeandra, and we are in the house with you. You know what it is. We are in with the champ, with the bomb, with the queen, with the undisputed, with the guns of steel. If I see this meme one more time with Simon Says playing in the background, I'm going to holler, ALYCIA the Baumgardner.
Yay, thank you for having me.
ALYCIA, looking fine. You are looking right and tight in all the right places. My God.
Thank you.
We are getting you today, and you are fresh off of going to the baseball game. Did you throw out a pitch? I know you brought your belts. What did they have you doing out there?
So it was just a small little recognition because it was last minute. I was just told last night. So it was a small recognition. I brought 2 belts because I said all the other belts. It's just a lot to carry all of them, but it was fun. It's fight week and just a little promotion before the fight.
These kind of fights that Jeandra and I were just talking about for the females, all of the publicity matters. And for you to be on that mound, in your hometown, I mean, you were not originally born in Detroit, but you do call it home. That's a little bit, that kind of makes you put a tear in your eye because it shows that, wow, I've made it.
Yeah, it does. Just with the buildup, with everything, even just, again, becoming undisputed, it's like you say I'm living a dream, but you're literally I'm in the dream, living the dream, if that makes any sense. And it's just surreal for me every time. I'm like, okay, let me go pick the belts up and go here. And it's just small reminders of just the hard work that I put in.
I must say, there are a lot of belts. You took 2 with you today. You don't have to tell us where in your house because we know people be trying to see this stuff, but how do you have them displayed in your house? Do you have them all out? Like, how do you have them positioned now at Casa Baumgardner?
Yeah, sometimes they happen to be a little all over the place because we're moving around, but I have them really nicely set up in my living area, my living room. So pretty, so nice with some plants next to it. And it's just like the staple mark when you walk into the living room. So that's why I have them.
Well, ALYCIA, the reason, one of the big reasons why we are talking to you, I'm a little bummed that we didn't get to talk to you beforehand, before you collected all the belts, because when we first interviewed you, you only had 1 belt. And we kept saying, you know what, this Mikaela Mayer fight, but then it eventually transpired. But now you are the undisputed queen, and now you are making your homecoming and a redemption fight against Christine Linardatou. Okay, first off, how did you get this opponent? Because Mikaela was supposed to fight her, but she failed her pre-medical exam because she has a permanent contact in her eye. What were the magic and the powers that be that this fight happened? Mr. Eddie.
I'm ALYCIA Baumgardner.
Yeah,
I got the greatest team. We handpicked this girl. We had Erica Cruz as an option, but I'm like, no, I want Christina. This is perfect. Mikaela couldn't fight her. Let me go ahead and grab her and have her for the homecoming fight. This is a great fight. Again, she's the only person to give my only loss. And I think it builds for a great story. And for myself, it's not even redemption for me. I had to tell myself, I redeemed myself from the loss by becoming undisputed. This is more of that lick back. Let me punish you. Let me tell you who I really am, the growth, and just what the undisputed champ looks like. So that's what I get from it, and I wouldn't want anybody else.
I went back and I watched your previous fight with her, and just seeing you now, you can see just the vast difference in the way you perform now versus the way you fought then. You were like seven professional fights in, so still very young in your pro experience, and it still was a good fight. Split decision win in her favor, came up a little short, so it wasn't a domination or anything like that. When you look at the fighter that you're today versus that fighter, what do you think is the single biggest difference? Is it experience, or is there something else you can point to now that makes you the better fighter?
I would say just the personal growth that I've been able to have mentally. I shedded a new skin, like an old skin. Like, this is new. This is a fresh rebirth ALYCIA. And I think that's what did it for me. And you see these different glimpses of who I am as a fighter since the Mikaela fight, the fight in February against Mikaela. I'm completely different. Like, the progression has been amazing. And it's just little by little that I see myself grow, and these type of fights make me better. A Christina fight makes me better because I know she's coming to fight and I'm ready to fight.
Christina is ready to fight because it's she didn't really have that many fights when she came back from her pregnancy. And she was, you know, if I were Christina, I would be calling you out eventually, be like, oh, she's the champ. I already beat her ass once. I can possibly beat her again. But like you said, you have grown. And Jeandra and I did watch the fight, and we've seen the growth, even from the Mikaela fight. Obviously, you lived it, you won it. Do you go back and look at it, and do you watch the fight and think, I could have been better in certain things when you watch that specific fight?
Yeah, absolutely. But I just see my work in the sparring alone. Like, I know just from the fight and then my sparring that I had in training camp, completely different fighter. And so I'm like, yo, like, I'm on my shit. And my trainer, like, Tony's been with me for a minute now. He sees the growth. He's like, man, you look amazing. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, you're freaking doing it all. So that just builds my confidence because he's seeing things from a trainer's point of view, and I'm seeing myself just fighter to fighter, like me and me. But it's full circle for me.
Just from a lay person's point of view, you know, I've never fought, but I respect the sport and athletes, and looking at that fight and looking at like what you post now. And for me, it's more about the timing. You've always been strong, you've always been athletic, good footwork, good movement. But when I look at how you strike now, like your timing is ridiculous. It's ridiculous now. Because even in that fight, it was a very competitive fight, but maybe it was like a game of inches. And I feel like you've made up those inches now and then some. Do you have the same assessment? Is it about timing? Is it about power? Because you're fit. You never had to do things that other people have to do to get yourself physically ready. You already had that. So what do you think it is?
What it is control. What it is, it's control. It's confidence. It's knowing why when I step in the ring, this is my ring. You have to have that type of confidence. And again, it builds as you go. But control, just to say the control part, Christina, Mikaela, Mekalet, any of you girls who try to come into my porch, on my lawn, you come in with something, and it's all about control. You seen Ennis yesterday. He used that jab. He's like, you're not about to just come in my shit and trying to hit me. It's all about control. When you have control, you have composure. And when you have composure, you have skill and technique. And with skill and technique comes the power, comes the speed. I have that packed down like to the T now. Because I used to, people would say, oh, she can't handle pressure. Give me the pressure, because I can handle pressure. But I had to go through those little bits and pieces in camp and in fights to know what it looks like to be under pressure. And it's all about control. It's all about knowing your skill level. I've been doing this for 21 years now. I better know something.
Right. You better come on. Is this my goal? Are y'all paying attention, up and coming fighters? You know, so many people spend so much time with like the dancing around and the pad work and doing all that little silly pad work. But that is the major key, is about control. I like that too. I need to apply that to my own damn life.
Yeah, and listen, when I'm doing this, Tony's not gonna let me do it again. You can do a better jab than that. Control it. That's the one. That's what I learned this camp, and what it looks like to be in control. And that just goes in hand with life. And so I've been able to control what I can control, right? Control what you can control. All the other things don't matter.
I remember seeing on Twitter not too long ago, Stephen Breadman Edwards, he said about you, I think it was I'm not sure if it was a video, I can't remember, but he says about your stance, you have so much power, and the way you're balanced, your feet, your jab, the power, it's like everything was great. Like you were the perfect rounded fighter, and that you're a dangerous fighter. And obviously Breadman is one of the best trainers out there right now. So for him to say that, I thought kudos to you, you know, because people don't have to say anything about fighters. Trainers don't have to say anything. They just be like, okay, cool, she cool. But for him to be able to say things about your stance and how you throw effectively, how you use your jab. And you said even yesterday, you were tweeting, what boots, don't abandon the jab. Why get in a firefight when you can use the jab?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when people respect the skill of boxing and the science of boxing, it's to not get hit. It's to look pretty doing it. And Ennis showed a great example of that. And that's what I'm learning. And that's what I've been able to control in the ring and really showcase what it looks like to be a complete fighter. You want to see me bang? I can do that. Want to see me box, move around the ring? I do got something for the fans and everybody else come fight night that I added to my arsenal, and everybody will see that. It's amazing.
Oh.
It look anything like them uppercuts you were throwing in that first fight. We like that too.
We love uppercuts.
I've thrown so many uppercuts in this camp. I'm like, I don't know what punch it's going to be.
You know, when I look at you now and how you train and your approach to boxing, it's like you're a modern but still like have these kind of vintage sensibilities, because you fight and you train, and in your spare time you train with other women and you do your bag class and stuff that you were talking about. Like, it's none of that, you know, during that one era where people were doing yoga and so was taking ballet to make his footwork better, or all of these different things. You don't do any of those types of things outside of training for boxing specifically and strength type of work, do you?
Girl, I rollerblade. That's about it.
Oh, that makes the ass nice and them thighs.
Rollerblading. But yeah, and I ride my bike. So those are just two activities I like to do outside of that. I actually did do yoga this time for the first time. And it was nice to kind of just not think about nothing else but what we're doing. And it was actually hot yoga. So it was nice to get a mental break for me. But yeah.
Do you think you'll do more of it? Because hot yoga is, you're trying to, oh God, do I stink? Do I have the pose right? I have to breathe. Like, there's too many factors going on. And is this person's sweat coming on me? You know, there's a lot of things. Do you think you're going to continue that?
Maybe. I think yoga is kind of boring. And I'm like, I feel like I'm hyper. Like, I'm like, okay, it's time to go. Like, I got 30 minutes. But it's nice because you have to, you know, sit with yourself and say, okay, this is quiet time. Do what they're telling you to do. I got a great sweat. And I'm always trying to, like, okay, I don't do yoga on a daily. Can I do this? Can I put my foot up this high? Of course you can, because you can do it. So that's just like little stuff. I'm like, I could do it again.
That is funny. I would love to see you do hot yoga. She'd be like, control the foot.
Right.
I feel the hyperactivity. I be into my head too much. I get too distracted. Just take one little sound and I'm like, what? Right. Oh, you want me to stop? Right. Oh, okay, no problem. The iron is on. Oh, let me go get it. And that's
right. Like, did I turn that light off in the house? I think I did. Yeah. Like, do I have oatmeal for tomorrow morning for breakfast? For real.
Well, you know, ALYCIA, this is your very first title defense. And when we met you, you did, you know, you were vying for all these belts. How has your life changed from the moment you collected those belts with that win at the theater at MSG?
My life has just changed for the better. It's just evolving. I just love the growth. I love who I'm becoming as a woman, as an athlete, as an inspiration. It's not about me. It's what I'm able to leave and just the character that I'm building within the sport. That's important to me. You know, the belts are just an aspect of who I am, but it's really my character, the type of fights I'm building, and how we are building the sport of boxing. And again, helping these young girls. Like, I have so many ideas that I want to do to incorporate for the girls who want to turn pro, who don't have a promoter or a manager or the money. Like, I've been there. You know, I was scraping for pennies and scraping just to have a fight. And so I want to give back and build that. So I've just been building my brand within that. And that's just what has been the best part of becoming Undisputed is, you know, I'm growing into more into my adulthood. I'm 29 now and I'm still young, but I just feel like there's so much more work to do. So I haven't been able to sit still, that's for sure.
I've been enjoying the way that even just your content creation and how that's been curated is just showing a lot of maturity. And to me, it looks like on par with other big top athletes. You know, your content is clean, and just, I think it was like your last sizzle reel, the last one that you recently did that, you know, just had clips and things. What do you think that you figured out about self-promotion and what you want to give to the public that other fighters haven't? Because it just looks good. It looks quality. It looks professional. it looks like run me the coins. You know, it looks like all the
Thank you, because it takes a lot of work. And there's times where I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I know I have to do it because no one's going to promote me better than myself. You can have the biggest, best promoter in the world. It doesn't matter. They only care when you have the belts and you're winning. But at the end of the day, I'm able to promote and showcase who ALYCIA is, who the bomb is, and continue just showing that I'm going to be your best promoter. I'm showing the world what a beauty and a beast looks like. I'm showing two different people in an awesome sport. And I think that's dope.
I've seen the things that you've been promoting. You were on GQ Sports, your 10 Essentials. I really enjoyed that, by the way. Very, very funny. And then also on Cam Newton. Those are the things, because the fans that watch you, they only see you as a fighter sometimes. They don't see your personal life. So for you to go on there and talk about who you are, your past, your upbringing, and just like you said, the things that's in your bag. My favorite one, John, you're gonna love it, is your phone for your Twitter wars, for your Sunday tweets. Because when you got way too much time on your hand, you are just barking.
I'm like, let me get off my phone. They're going to be thinking I'm on something. Sometimes I'm like, I got time today. I'm about to start tweeting. I probably get on Twitter more than I do Instagram.
Are you on Threads?
No, I've heard, but I'm like, I can't afford another app for my mental space. Just can't do it.
That part right there.
Right.
Threads got me feeling real auntie. I'm just like,
okay. I'm like, I don't have time. I'm still
show
learn TikToks.
Threads is Instagram without the visuals, and it's dumb, honestly.
Some people you just want to look at. I don't them.
I don't want to talk to you.
I just want to, gratuitous follow. I don't necessarily need to hear no thoughts. That's what we got a Twitter for.
There was also another thing that you said, and I remember in our interview, is that you carry your journal. You love to write. I want to believe that you wrote about you manifesting, you becoming undisputed, where you're at right now. Did you do that? And when did you write that you were going to be undisputed?
I would have to go back my journal and see that. But I do remember when I turned pro, and I was in Florida. I was at my manager's house, and we're sitting around the round table, and we're talking about turning pro. And I'm like, I want to be pound for pound, and I want to be undisputed. Not really knowing in depth what that meant, but I just said it because that's what I want to do. And I'm going to do it. And I'm going to get paid. And I'm going to be one of the highest paid women athletes. And they're going to respect me. Said it just like that.
Well, the universe heard you.
Yeah. My manager's like, it's a hard sport. They don't pay women. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care what nobody says. I'm going to do this. I've been at this since a young age, and I've been hustling, and the dedication's there, the discipline is there. I'm going to get a yes out of this. I'm going to become a world champion because I couldn't win a gold medal. So here I am.
I like that. I feel like sometimes when people want to achieve a goal, it becomes sort of like a bargaining with the universe to make it not seem so like I'm grandstanding. You're saying decisively, I want this. I'm doing the work for it. Because some people will say, I really want to be the champ because I want to help. And you do want to help, but it almost seems like a pleading with the universe. Like, I'm trying to negotiate. Let me win so I can help other people. And it's not that at all. You win because you want to win. So how do you lock into that? Because you are unapologetic about what your goals are. So just even the locking into that aspect of being a pro athlete.
Yeah, I mean, I know my assignment. I know that I'm here for a reason. I know that the things that I've been through are here that made me who I am today. And I'm like, listen, if you believe it, you can achieve it. I remember driving one day, I'm like, man, I don't know what's going on. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to believe. I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket like I always do. And I'm going to believe there's no plan B for me. Like, I literally have to make it. And if I fall down, I'm going to get right back up and do it again. Because I've always had this, like, this mentality of just keep pushing because something good is going to come from it. So I'm like, something has to come from something. Either that's me meeting somebody or me helping somebody or me becoming a champion or helping this woman become a champion. Something good is going to come from it. And I think it just builds. It's like a seed that you grow, Just only need a faith of a mustard seed. And that's what I've had since a young kid. I had people praying for me when I was young. And I'm like, I'm going to do something. I don't want to live an average life. I want to make something of myself. I want to tell my future kids one day, your mom, I can tell them now, I was a world champion, an undisputed world champion. I think that's dope. And I can inspire. And I think that's what life's about.
Amen, girl. Amen to that. All of that. What is that though? the horse in, no, not the horse in the room. What the hell is it called?
The elephant in the
room.
I'm like, horse. I love that.
This shit right now. Cut this interview right now.
Well, so I know you've answered questions, but we haven't asked you about your bestie, Mikaela Mayer. So let's just say, hypothetically, you are victorious against Linardatou. Are you going to continue in this division? Do you think you're going to move up? Because now that you've already conquered all the belts, because usually when you conquer, you've done it all, move on up to the next division. Do you see yourself going up soon rather than later?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm going to dominate at 130 as long as I can, because I can. And I make that weight easy. I would love to move up to 135. I will fight Mikaela Mayer again. We can do that fight in the States. I will fight Katie Taylor. I will fight Amanda Serrano. I will fight Chantel Cameron. The pool's so small that these fights need to be made. And I'm here to make a statement and to solidify, and which I've already have, but more into saying this girl is going into these big fights. She wants these big fights. She wants a challenge, and we need these fights for the sport. And I'm willing to do that. And so, yeah, I like moving up in weight is not an issue for me. Fighting Mikaela is not an issue for me. I'm a fighter. I love to fight and I love to get better. And I know I'm getting better and I'm just stepping into my prime now. I'm all for it.
But are you going to fight the real fight against Adrian Broner for the Battle of AB?
Of course I am. I mean, not the little AB, the big AB. Okay. That tweet, that made me laugh so much because I identify as a woman. I'm going to fight AB. I'm like, you're funny.
The big battle of big AB.
Lord,
we team this AB over here,
right? You just said that you can make all the weight since there's really no women in all the weight classes, and a lot of people on Twitter will say, well, why is so and so fighting so and so? I'm like, well, because there's no one in the division. Can you go up to 147? Would you be able to make 154?
I feel like I can. Like in my mind, I can do it all. Now, my trainer be like, dude, be realistic. I'm like, I'm being realistic. I'm a dreamer, right? I'm like, yeah, I could make 147, 154. I remember at one point, I was 153 when I was doing CrossFit. Believe it or not, I weighed that much.
I can't even picture that.
I know, right? But I was. I'm like, I'm big, okay? But it's a big difference when you're in that weight and your speed and everything changes. But however my body like transitions into however it's supposed to, cool. If I can do it, I'm gonna do it.
Since you said that, that's a good topic too. So this past weekend, Virgil Ortiz was supposed to fight Stanionis down in Golden Boy, and he's having some health issues. I'm not asking you to speak on that because that's not your thing, but just the fact that a lot of the commentary out of it was he should just go up and weight. He should just go up and weight since he's having challenges and health issues that this condition attributes to overtraining. ALYCIA at 154 versus ALYCIA at 130, 135. What did that even feel like, just walking around like that and then trying to have the same stamina to go round? Just your point of view from more weight.
I mean, dump truck can't get inside the door. Like, first of all, it just makes a difference. It just slows things down, in a sense. I would have to be in that position to know. Again, I think I can do it all. I'm a dreamer. I'm like, I know what it felt like to be at that way and to be at this way. The body's different. The speed's different again. I don't know. I feel like Terry Harper can do it.
I was just going to say that Terry Harper, Natasha Jonas, I mean, they were around your weight class and they figured they have to jump up to get some belts and to get some challenges. And that's a big jump. So I think it's possible, but
skills pay the bills. And I feel like this is my take on it. If you're a skillful fighter, you can do it. I'm a skillful fighter. I believe I can stay away from your power hand. I can get in, I can get out, I can box, I can move around the ring, I can use the ring to my advantage. I feel like it's doable. I don't think it's impossible.
Oh, I can't wait the day you tell Tony, yo, I'm moving up to 147. That's what happened to 135.
Right.
147 will definitely come out there for lamb chops for sure. Because you'll be able to eat a lot of those.
I was just going to say that, Jay. I'm like, we cooking some lamb chops.
We gonna cook the whole damn lamb if you gotta go up to 147. This is gonna be some
At
eat.
this point.
Again, back onto the topic, Mikaela Mayer, what did you see in her last fight? As a fighter, not just because of your love for her, as a fighter.
Yeah, as a fighter at 135, she looked slower. In my case, I thought that, I mean, they had a great opponent. Oh, girl was not just come and lay down. So she really showed that she was in the fight. You know, I think Mikaela, I don't really see her growing in terms of her skill of being better. I think she's going to be the same fighter. Maybe her jab may be a little faster, but I think she reached her plateau on a fighter. So I think all she has now is heart, finish a fight or maybe get somebody out of there. But she wants to get back in there. I understand she got a loss. You know, she wants to redeem herself. She wants to get back in there and continue, you know, to become a world champion again, maybe another weight class. But personally, I think she just looked a little more slower. I think she mentioned before that 35 was hard for her to make too, that 140 may be it. So we'll just have to see the progression of Mikaela Mayer.
I mean, you guys should get like an award because your fight is still talked about of who won to this day. People still have, oh my God, I still go down that rabbit hole and it's hilarious. I mean, you guys got fans.
I love it. I love it. It was a great fight. I go through my picture. I'm like, man, that was a fun time. It was a good time. We can run it back at 135. I'll even show you that I can beat you again in another weight class just to give you the advantage to say, hey, you don't have to make 130. I'll move up. So we'll see.
I feel like you guys are the heartbeat of it. You know, even though you're both on different trajectories right now and pursuing different things, people talk about the two of you the most, like in terms of actual fighting. Like Clarissa causes a lot of conversation too in her fights. Her fight with Savannah, excellent, brilliant fight. That card was brilliant. But in terms of like just to keep it popping and keep the commentary hot, you guys are the heartbeat of women's boxing. And both of you are in a real kind of prime position because we look at Katie, we look at Amanda. Amanda's about to fight Heather. These are all three warriors who are kind of in the winter of their career. I feel like all of them are going to go out around the same time. So now there's you, there's Mikaela, Jessica McCaskill still around, Natasha Jonas, Chantel Cameron. There's a
Franchon, Sandy Ryan. Like there's the new crop.
I'm waiting for these girls I'm thinking like, who's a new batch of girls?
Who is the new crop of girls? Like, where are they now? Maybe they're in a part of the world that women aren't being looked at enough. You know, when you look at a lot of women's combat sports, there's always the go to the Brazil and find the MMA fighters down there. And the boxers come from America and England and maybe Ireland. Like, where are they at? Where are they at though? Like, are they on the motherland? Like, where are they at though? Are they in the Philippines? Right. A lot of great fighters.
In this case, I think, you know, that's where I come in. I start scouting these women because I have a few girls that need to be showcased. I need these girls to be in the fights. And again, if Eddie's going to continue building the women, hey, like let's open that door up to, there's a lot of girls in the States. That's the thing. I don't like when people say, oh, the pool's small. It's small, but it's big again. And there's girls out there training to get an opportunity, a fight on TV, just to be seen. So I think we really just have to continue opening that market up to allow women to fight, to keep fighting.
That's all we want.
To beat the drum for Baumgardner Promotions. Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah. We'll do all your interviews for you.
Sold.
All right. Before we let you go, because I know you've had such a great day and you want to go celebrate and you got a fight to prepare for. We just want some predictions real fast. You got the big fight, Spence versus Crawford.
I got Crawford.
By decision? Do you think a knockout? How do you see that fight playing out in your head?
So two different ways. I see Crawford by stoppage, but I see Spence by decision.
Okay.
But again, it's a 50-50 fight. I just relate more to Crawford. I think he's a versatile fighter. You know, he has a wrestling background, which I do too. I think he's just a little more grimy, a little more of a dog. And just his backstory to me just seems, I can relate more to it. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Errol Spence, but I just think Terrence Crawford is at the point of his career where it's either now or never. And he's been waiting for this moment. And same thing for Errol, but I think Crawford for sure.
Okay. Now I have one. This is not it's not made yet. It will possibly be made. Shadasia Green versus Savannah Marshall, or Savannah Marshall versus Shadasia Green.
That's a great fight. You know, I think we have to give credit to Savannah. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. Savannah fought Clarissa the way she was supposed to and still look good.
Yeah.
She fought Crenshaw and still look good. She has a skill set, right? Shadasia, she's a great fighter as well. She's a heavy hitter. She can hit hard. And I would like to see her in that fight because it's going to develop her, and then it's going to see where Savannah's at too. So I want to see from skill eyesight, I want to see that fight just because I want to see if Savannah can keep that skill set to beat her, or is she coming in and say, hey, I'm the new queen on the block, watch out, and then eventually make that fight with Clarissa.
How about a little Canelo Charlo?
Oh, yeah.
The wild that blew up Twitter that day that it was little Charlo, not big Charlo.
It was tweeting that day. Great fight, first of all. I think we all love Canelo. We love that he's just who he is, what he's done for the sport. He's just a challenge of an athlete going up to fight Bivol. But he has a different fighter on his hands this time. You know, we have Charlo. And if you know anything about Charlo, he's an exciting, wild fighter. And when I say wild, not just wild, but like just his personality, who he is, his courageousness that he has, his love for the sport, right? I think he has that fire lit underneath him to say, I could really beat Canelo. And I think that's great. But if I had to choose, I would have to go with Canelo just because of experience. And, you know, I think he's on his way out too. You know, if these are his last 3 fights with Al Heyman, why not pick and choose who you want to fight? I love the challenge that Charlo's going up, but I think experience speaks for all.
Will that ended in knockout or decision?
Ooh,
I know
damn, that's tough. Cause you know, I have to say this because this is what got in my mind. When Tony hit him with that one counter punch, that kind of made him like, what the fuck? But if Canelo hits him and he carries his power through, does he drop him? Or does Charlo have a chin? Does Charlo like, nah, that wasn't shit. I can say I'm on my 2 feet. I don't know.
Girl.
Right? I'm thinking, like, I remember that little clip. I'm like, I don't know. Because Canelo, I don't know, y'all. It's tough.
We're going to wait and see.
Oh, this is exciting. Well, we can't wait to see you back in the ring July 15th at...
Wait, I want to ask you guys a prediction.
Okay.
July 15th, Baumgardner versus Linardatou. Do you see a knockout or do you see the decision?
I see a knockout.
I see a knockout too.
Early or late? I'm betting the 5th round, and I never bet. I'm not actually betting, but I'm like telling myself something about the 5th round.
Okay.
Because I really said the 3rd round when I fought Mikaela. Honestly, I'm like, it's the 3rd round. And that's when I think I dropped her in the 3rd round. And then
I think because she's only fought twice since she came back from her pregnancy. So she hasn't been in the ring that often. Activity matters. And she's going up against a very different Baumgardner. When we see your skills then and now, very different. So I believe it will be a knockout before 6. I'll say that, before 6.
I like that.
I think that there's going to be a little bit of warming up between you two in the first 2 to 3 rounds. And she's going to be working behind her jab like she did in the first fight. But I think that lack of activity, your better conditioning, better stamina, and better power, better shot selection. You could finish her with an uppercut. You could finish her with a body shot. I think. So I will say somewhere in maybe about the 6th or 7th, because she does have a lot of dog in her. But I think she will last, but it still will be a decisive fight for you, even though it will last.
I like that. I like the 5th. I think Tony said maybe 7th, 8th. But yeah, she just had a baby. So you know everything about
but there's different, it's different when, you know, she had a baby, it was 2 years ago. And I think of Natasha Jonas, because when she told me she had the baby, it was the hardest thing coming back. And now look at her. So for her, she has everything to win, because now you do it for somebody else. It's a different reason. And you have everything to lose. But, you know, you're fighting at home for the first time, all your friends, family, you know, this is, you know, the homecomings, we've seen it. We've seen it with Canelo. We saw it with Regis. The homecoming is it's a lot of pressure.
I already know what you were going to say, because it is a lot of pressure. But for me, I'm like, AB, this is just another fight.
Pressure makes diamonds, baby.
Okay. And I've headlined a card. A lot of people maybe don't remember, but when I fought in Philly, I was the headline. I was the main event for that card. And even when I was younger, so like, again, these little fights had really built me into this homecoming fight. So it's just another exciting, it's going to feel like Sheffield to me.
Oh, that's cool.
I think the difference with you fighting at home is because you are really active in your hometown.
Yeah.
Like it's not the same type of distraction, because people really see you. You know, sometimes when fighters come back home to fight, like Regis doesn't live in New Orleans, so he's not in the streets like that, or Jared Hurd, or any of these guys who've had issues when they've done homecoming fights. So it's all these people who haven't seen him, like, and ringing the phone, but you really be in the streets. You really not like that, y'all. I mean, you be in your hometown. You interact with people. You teach classes, so it's not so jarring as if you lived somewhere else and then came home.
Right.
So I don't think the distraction is going to be like taxing for you like it would be someone else.
For sure.
You had a very memorable and sexy ring outfit, and you'd be walking out to Cardi, be twerking. I mean, you showed up and you showed out. What are you going to be walking out to? Are you going to have someone walk you out?
Yeah, so we have a local Detroit artist, Sada Baby. I don't know if y'all know him. So, you know, I wanted to get a local. I actually really wanted a girl, but we couldn't get her. But that's okay. I'm like, let me just make it a local, you know, rapper. No. We got Sada. He's gonna hype the crowd up. It's gonna be great. And the outfit's about to look fire. I'm going with pink, black, and silver. Okay. You know, be glycerin out there. So I can't wait. It's gonna look, everything is just falling in order. Everything is in order. And I just can't wait to perform and get it done and over with and celebrate, see what's next.
Tell Sada to make sure the mic is on. Don't have him out there looking like King Von last night, walking with boots. I'm like, bro, are you going to sit bar? Are you going to rap? You got to rap too.
You can't just hold the mic and just pretend and not move. Well, you guys, make sure you guys tune into ALYCIA the Baumgardner, July 15th. She is making her homecoming. And as Dazn and Matchroom have been saying, it's a redemption. But for her, it's just another fight to make sure she keeps that hard work, because she just wants to keep on going and collect more belts in the other divisions. We can't wait to see you come out, your hometown, your family, everyone, just to come out to support you. Good luck to you, ALYCIA.
Thank you. I love you guys. You guys are the best always, and stay tuned.
Jeandra, last thoughts for you?
Last thoughts. Everybody, if you're watching the interview and you go tag all cast members of BMF, go tag 50, go tag Stars, because this is a Detroit fight. That's a Detroit-based home. You know, tag them in it so they can share the content so people can tune into the fight too. Find everybody you know from Detroit who living in Detroit and tell them repost it and wake it up. Come on now. Come on.
You know, one last thing. I know that you guys saw each other at the Creed premiere in LA. Jeandra said it. ALYCIA, if you ever get into acting, you need to be the daughter to come out and be the boxer, the next in the Creed, whatever. Just saying. She said it.
We already put it in there. We put it in the air, y'all.
Yeah, it's in the universe.
It's coming. He know who you are. The baby had curly hair like you. I mean, it's not that far a jump.
It really isn't. It really isn't. It'd be like next year, from like however old, it was like, oh, she's now 25 or 30 as a boxer. So it is Hollywood magic, guys. All right, guys. Well, thanks, guys, for tuning in to another edition of the Best Women's Boxing Show, period. ALYCIA Baumgardner, go do your thing, babe. Looking right and tight and all nice. Girl, that was a fun interview with Miss ALYCIA.
I love it. She's always been a very, interesting conversation. She, she has plenty to say, but now as she's really stepping into her queendom and her championship reign, like you can see like the shift, like the champ swag on her. And I love that.
I love when you said that she's just so apologetic about who she is and what she says, especially when she says, I'm the champ. If you come onto my porch, it ain't happening. Like, of course. And just, it's all about being confident. So I guess when people go off and say, oh, she, or people who say certain things, is it being conceited? Is it being big-headed? Maybe, but for her, it's like she knows exactly what she wants and she's going to go out and get it and nothing is going to stop her. And that's why she's undisputed. And that's why people respect her. And so there's going to be a fun little fight. And it's going to be fun to see that she doesn't call it a redemption, because her redemption was making Undisputed. But I think just a little cherry on the top is, beating her. The cherry on the top is fighting Mikaela Mayer. That's the cherry on the top again. That's the fight. You see how I asked her? She's like, well.
I know, and she's open to it too. And it's fun. I hate that the weight divide is so great between her and Clarissa. Like it's too big a weight divide. That's like 30 pounds. It doesn't make sense even financially, but they both kind of had this similar trajectory in that they had someone that they lost to early on. And since then have gone on to be undisputed and have done big things. And I love those kind of stories. Same with Shakur. Shakur has an opportunity to have that redemption thing because he lost his fight in the Olympics, and he could possibly go on if we get a Haney fight. If we get that fight, or even who else had a theory like that? Roy Jones,
Roy Jones,
Mayweather. All of them had something early in their career that they redeemed by going on to do these great things. And, she's going to be no different. Or she's already there.
She's a star. And the way she carries herself, I mean, whether people like it or not, that she's a shit talker, or she says it like it is with an extra stuff on it. Oh, we forgot to ask her about her merch. Damn it. Her dog, she has Christina's head in her hand.
She goes out the park with the merch. What was the other one? She had Mikaela on a leash.
The poodle. So, I mean, the guys don't even do that, but hey, it's really good promo. It's fun. People buy it. We'll take our sizes in all merch. We will wear it. We don't care. We will always promote fighters and boxing brand. Shout out to Boxer. I'm like, shout out to Boxer. Yesterday I posted a thing about Shakur. We were just talking about Shakur, Haney, and now Loma. So Shakur, Shakur wants a fight. And he's like, hey, if he's going to duck you, Loma, let's tango. But Loma wants a rematch. Do you think that's going to happen? Or do you see Haney and Shakur? Or who do you see Haney fighting for?
I don't think Loma gets a rematch. I think he's going to move on. Sorry, Loma. You ain't going to get that fight again. I don't think they'll run that back. I don't even think if Shakur gets the fight, it won't be soon. I think if Haney I think he's going to take a couple of whatever fights. Maybe his next 2 fights with whomever, and then maybe you get a Shakur fight, and then maybe you get a Tank fight. I think that Haney wants a Tank fight because he wants a big money fight, because even though he has all the belts, he doesn't have the audience and the fan base.
And that's a big money fight. Wait, how Tank is not around because he's locked up. I don't know. When does he get out?
Other thing.
When does he get out?
I think it was like short or something. I don't think it's like a long stint. He's not going to be. I can't remember what it was. Help us in the comments. Remind us.
You know what you just said when you think about it, because usually when you hold off on people, it's because maybe not. It's not a money fight, but it's also because for Shakur, it's not like he's going to regress. He's just going to get better. So it's not like a Canelo holding off on Gennady because Gennady is getting older. Shakur is just going to get older and get better. So I think maybe this would be the right time for Devin to fight Shakur. And if I were Shakur, like I said, I'm not one about percentages. Allegedly, it's a 25% split for Shakur. Just take it.
I think
if you get to fight for belts and you can create an upset, why not?
I feel like with the case with him, when it comes with those two dudes, with Haney and with Tank, I feel like he's always going to be on the chase for those kind of fights because they both look to be just big dudes. Like, not that they're so much bigger than him, but in the off time, they look like they blow up a little bigger than he does. He looks like he still makes weight pretty fairly easily in his current weight division. And I feel like Haney will move up. Tank will definitely move up, whether he wants to or not, because he's been better about staying in shape, but they're getting older. They're all in their 20s. They're all young guys. And as the body ages, no matter what, you're going to beef up. And I feel like Shakur is the least likely of them to beef up as quickly. And I think they'll move up. I don't know, just my thoughts. I think they'll move up in weight before he does to chase bigger fights. I don't know. I hope he gets a fight. He's very talented. He's a generational talent. He just needs the opportunity to show it. So I hope, I just don't want the fight with Haney to get messed up because they're on the same side of the street. So there's really no real reason for that fight not to happen. If Haney wants to do a 75 thing, do I think it's a low ball thing? Yeah. But at the same time, he's the champion. All the belts.
Yeah. We talked about in our live the other day, what happens if something gets screwed up, if that fight will never get made because God forbid Haney loses the belts to like someone else. And then now, but we really want to see Haney versus Shakur to see style, you know, besides that there's belts that happen to be attached to it. But we really want to see who is actually better than the other that night and the skills. Well, we'll have to see.
I feel it's almost like I think we're gonna get like some weird ass curveball. Like it would be a Haney Teofimo thing, since they're both undisputed champions before a Shakur gets a fight.
And then
that's a possibility, or the Tank fight, because that's a big money fight. I just feel like I don't know what's gonna happen with Shakur. I mean, he's gonna still be great. He's still gonna fight, but who is he gonna fight is the real question. If you who y'all think? Drop
it because we want to know. I mean, we all think the same, but we don't know what everyone says. I mean, God knows you might come out with some other name that we don't even remember. And don't go off and say Virgil Ortiz or some crazy name that, like, you know,
a realistic fight
that it can actually happen.
And no fantasy mess either. A real fight, please. Active fighters only. Right. Don't say, oh, we want to see a prime Haney against a prime Floyd when he was pretty boy. We are not that channel. Don't drop fantasy shit here. Save that for Twitter.
We mentioned Boots earlier to ALYCIA. Man, Boots is just special. He's like a Shakur to me. I tweeted this out to Ray Flores of PBC. I said, he's so special that we get to witness him in our generation. It's like a Shakur. We just need him to fight. We need to see him fight more often. And for the fact that we saw him his last fight, I don't even remember when, such a bad president, but of his fan club, but he didn't look all that great. But in this one, fantastic. And kudos to Vias that you would think that maybe by the 4th, 5th round, he's like, they would stop it. But this dude had a chin. This dude kept coming. And I mean, he had too much heart. His corner is a little too brave, but thankfully he only had a fractured nose after that pounding. But damn, Boots is just, he boxed so beautifully. The power, the movements, just everything that you're just like, oh my God, I was just mesmerized by him. I mean, in boxing, guys. Okay, that's it.
That was such a sustained ass whooping. Like, I was just watching his hands just like it was beautiful. And this was a real guy that he was in with who did not come to lay down. And I just watched Boots' beat on him round after round. And he would do enough to battle back, but not enough to keep Boots off of him. And just, I mean, I like Boots fighting before, but that fight, if you want to introduce a new fan to Boots and who he is, show them that fight, because that was wow.
I loved how he was thanking everyone. He thanked Showtime. He thanked ESPN.
He thanked everybody. I feel like he thanked us too while he was there. I want to thank the Best Women's Boxing Show. I'm like, thank you.
I heard it.
Yeah, I heard it. Thank you, Boots. We appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by.
We're going to shift topics. So we talked about this earlier. I mean, you and I think I didn't want to mention to ALYCIA because it's not her place to comment about Christina, Linardatou. But this is actually, I really want to kind of dive into it more when we're in studio to like have a real full conversation. But for the people who think Christina is just some girl that came out of nowhere, she was a 2-time WBO world champion, and then she got pregnant. And unfortunately, for people who really don't know about, or who don't understand the rules of boxing, and I just learned this, the WBO doesn't. So if you're pregnant, for the WBO, and she had the belts, she had to vacate because of pregnancy. Now, sadly, their policy shows that if you're pregnant and you come back, you don't become an interim champ. You become a mandatory, just like as if she had an injury. But the WBC, the WBA, crazy enough, the WBA and the IBF all have a policy in place with as a champion in recess. So you would fight, you're the champion in recess. And so while you're going through your pregnancy or your injury, they have an interim champion fight for your belt. And so when you come back, that interim and that champion in recess, which is you would fight for the title again. So sadly, I feel for Christina, because how her cards were dealt to her, she was doing something what women are, I'm not going to say are supposed to be mothers, but she just happened to, a blessing. And then all that hard work, she was just put on the back burner and no policy was put in place. So I wanted to touch on that. I don't want to end this show on like a sad note, but we will talk about it, Jeandra, so we can read it. And then I'm going to reach out to WBC, WBA. I'm going to reach out to the WBO. Like, why is that? If you continue to have female bouts and continue to have women's boxing, you need to also abide, because men cannot have babies. Real men cannot have babies. So you guys don't get all crazy on me. But if a man can have an injury, a female can have an injury. It's the same rule, but there's no rule in place for a female to give birth and the after effects. So I just felt, really sad about that. And but that's like for another topic. But so that's part of my talk your shit. And the next time that Jeandra and I are in studio, we will talk about this, because it is, I guarantee you there's no one else talking about it. Right. ESPN wrote about it, and that's how I found out about it. And it's really fucked up of how, God forbid, if ALYCIA wants to have a baby, she has a WBO belt, then what happens? So,
exactly.
So, I know you guys are probably thinking, oh my God, this is a little too much for women's boxing, but this is what it is. We talk about women, we talk about women's boxing, and this is what can possibly happen. Women have babies, guys. Boxers have babies. So this was a really fun show, Jeandra, and her predictions were great. Great.
I like what she had to say. I'm excited for you all to hear your feedback on her predictions for Crawford Spence and for little Charlo and Canelo. And yes, love hearing boxer perspectives. When they're active fighters or inactive fighters, they see things that we don't see because they really live it and breathe it. So again, loved her thoughts on it. And we want to hear your thoughts on it.
God, imagine like Tony Harrison, remember when little Charlo and Tony Harrison fought the first time? That was so wild. Their promos were so wild. So we should get Tony to talk to him about like this upcoming.
Absolutely should.
We really should.
That's a great idea for a guest. As a matter of fact, we're going to reach out to them. I remember you were still living here. You went to their first presser when we were downtown, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that shit talking was on 100,000.
Oh my God. I'll never forget that he took, and I was doing the interview for Ring, and he like straight took the mic and was just like talking his shit. They couldn't even do that live on like a network, because it go beep, beep. FCC would have been like, done. We can't do this. Cut. But it was such great TV. And just, I think I even have on Twitter or on my Instagram, I can't remember, but when I got a little clip of Tony Harrison, something is like, he's my bitch or something.
I still hate that fight is when I'm on vacation, because that probably would have been the perfect week for us to do it.
You never know.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
If not, I will hold us down, but you never know. You guys, we need to get Jeandra here before.
I know. If you guys would like to donate to the Best Women's Boxing Show Fund, because I need to go to Vegas for like 2 days before she
goes on holiday.
Yeah, I'd already booked my damn holiday. Shout out to my best friend. Yay, bitch. Yay for our girls trip. I had already booked it, and then they announced the fight, but I really want to come down during fight week and do some interview with my twin brain here and just talk to some people and see what's up. Thanks,
it's their fault because they were looking at the week beforehand. So you would have been free and clear. So it's Canelo and Charlo's fault,
It's all their fault. I'm like, how dare they? And you know what's funny is the thing I'm going to during that week, it's a music festival that's hosted by Dave Chappelle. And he's hosting all nights. And I know he pissed too, because we know he a big time boxing fan. So I know he is pissed off. He's probably going to be on stage talking about, let's bring out our next guest. Hold my phone. Let's bring out our next guest. Okay, we're in round 3. So, man.
Or he could, or even though if he hosted, he'd be like, he has so many comedian friends, or Radio Raheem, he's like, host for me real fast. I got to take a quick trip.
Radio Raheem, exactly. Or put like a little monitor on the stage or something so we can watch the fight while we listening to Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's a good little festival. And it's a wine festival too, with booze, like a lot of wine. You're in Napa. I'm not going to say where, but hey, go. If you guys are going to go attend it, make sure you say what's up to Jay.
Yeah, say what's up. Get your tickets because I think it's close to being sold out. So if you see me, say what's up and buy me toss me a little bottle, pour something in my cup.
Yeah, or you can send us bottles and we could put it here for the Best Women's Boxing Show, period. And we could cheers and toast you and shout your name out when we're in studio. That's just, some ideas
we need an
here.
Alcohol sponsor.
Yeah,
if you have a small business, holler at us. Let's see what we can talk about. We could put your stuff there. I see you have our beautiful folks from Spring Break Watches there next to Brooklyn's Cute Face. Shout out to them. They had a new watch drop. Like if you're looking for something a little bit more fancier, they had a watch drop this weekend. That's super dope. It's like a gold face. Very nice. So shout out to them and pay them a visit and make sure you tell them your girl sent you over there.
All right, guys. Well, let's wrap this one up, Jeandra, because this was a fun little interview on a Sunday. It's the holy day. So we need to get going, and I can't wait for you guys to see ALYCIA's predictions. I can't wait to see our predictions if we got it right for ALYCIA. So that was a little weird when she's like, I got a prediction for you. I'm like, we're on the hot seat.
I like that. Maybe we should have our guest challenge us like that. It's pretty fun because we ain't never scared at the Best Women's Boxing Show.
We say it like it is, as long as they come out healthy and safe. All right, guys. Well, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, all of our stuff on YouTube, just everything, and watch all of our interviews. I'm Cynthia Conte.
And I'm Jeandra LeBeau.
See you guys at the fights. Bye, guys.
Subscribe to this channel.